Ooh-wee.
Meet my oldest son, Jonas. Jonas is utterly delighted with his new trick, climbing out of his crib. Honestly, it's quite fun and impressive to watch his 18-month-old mind tackle this challenge of getting out of this cage he's been trapped in for so many hours every day. But as fun as it was in that moment to watch his problem solving and then the pure triumph of his escape, we also knew how much trouble we were in. Gone were the days we could put him in bed and know that he would stay in that bed. Most childhood milestones are bittersweet like this. It's the start of a new exciting stage, but also the end of a sweet era you'll never get back. Let's call it the nostalgia paradox. We want them to grow up and be self-sufficient, but we also love and miss the adorableness of their innocence and dependence.
You're a big boy.
Whoa.
Yay!
Welcome to the Family Lab podcast, where we investigate all things parenting and home management. Today is the kickoff for Season 8, an entire season dedicated to raising self-reliant, independent kids. As child caregivers, one of our main jobs is actually to work ourselves out of a job, with the exception of special needs and circumstances, of course. We move our kids along the continuum from helpless infants to self-sufficient adults, however bumpy that road is. But I'm hoping that together we can make that road a little less bumpy for each other by sharing ideas and experiments that have worked for us. Each month, we're going to explore a different category of self-reliance, like hygiene, cleaning, finance, technology, social skills, and spirituality. I've included a monthly schedule in the show notes so you can see what we're covering and when. But first, we're going to set up a framework for how to teach kids the skills they need to be able to eventually take care of themselves. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the self-reliance checklist that I've developed to be able to track my kids' progress. It's basically a list of skills categories that I want to help them develop, kind of a self-evaluation where they can track their progress in each category. I've been using this system for many years, and many of you have been doing it along with me since I launched it in 2022. But I recently revamped and expanded the self-evaluations and checklists I use. So if you want the new versions, you can grab them on familylabpodcast.com. So these checklists are helpful and they'll save you some work, but they're not essential to using the system. So you don't need to turn this off if you haven't bought them. You can totally follow along the whole season without them. You can tell I'm not a very good salesman, but I have priced them affordably at $4 and $12 for the entire package. So hopefully that will save you some time and you can support the podcast in the process. Just so that it's not only me talking at you this whole episode, we'll also hear some kids' perspectives from my youngest son, who's been using these evaluations as long as he can remember, and from 3 of my nephews who filled them out for the first time over Christmas break. I would also love to feature your ideas on this podcast this season and hear what you're struggling with in each of these categories and what you're doing well and some ideas that you can share. So once again, I'm going to start holding weekly open labs. This time it's going to be on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. It's totally free. It's just a chance to come. It's like office hours if you need tips or ideas about something you're struggling with. If you want to share ideas for upcoming episodes or just meet me and say hi. If you're a long lost friend and you want to catch up, I'll just be there for the whole hour. You can pop in anytime. And I'm just hoping that gives us a chance to share ideas more. And then once a month, I'll have one open lab session that's specifically designated for the next month's topic. So in January, that will be on January 20th, and we'll be discussing hygiene and potty training for February's hygiene month. So I'd love to know how you get your kids to brush and floss, how you convince them that taking a bath or a shower is a great idea, and any and all potty training tips. If this time doesn't work for you and you have ideas that you want to share, just email me at whitney@howshemoms.com and we can set up a different time to chat. Okay, so now let's talk about the self-reliance checklist. The basic premise of this system is that teaching kids to take care of themselves is an 18-year, sometimes more than that, apprenticeship where kids start out completely helpless, then they start helping you take care of them, then you eventually get to the point where you're helping them take care of themselves, and eventually, ready or not, they're on their own taking care of themselves. I like to refer to each of these stages of self-reliance as the helper stage, the worker stage, and the manager stage. So let's take sleep, for example. When you as a parent are basically running the sleep routine, bath, pajamas, brushing teeth, reading a story, etc., your kid is in the helper stage, even if he's not so helpful. He's still learning the rhythms, holding up his arms to help you get his pajamas on, letting you brush his teeth, and just figuring out the whole thing. Eventually, though, he becomes a worker. You have to manage the process. You remind him of the steps, move him along, and supervise, but he's putting on his own PJs, climbing into bed, and sometimes even staying there. Eventually, and I promise this really does happen, they become sleep managers. They put themselves to bed, they figure out their own routines, even if the bedtime is later than you would like, but they're doing it on their own. So, this is a concept that has been actually really easy to explain to my kids and surprisingly self motivating. At first, I thought I would have to give them incentives to want to level up. Like once you move up from being a helper to a worker with doing your laundry, you'll earn a treat or something like that. But this is actually one of those things that, for the most part, is intrinsically motivating because it feels really good when your parents stop getting in your business and micromanaging you. Plus, it's a win win because another word for management is the mental load. When my kids become laundry managers, that job is not only physically off my plate, it's mentally gone as well. 4 out of 5 of my kids are now in this category, and my youngest is really close. I don't even know when or how often they do their laundry, and I just know they're usually wearing clean clothes, and sometimes I go down and see their clothes in the laundry room, so I know it's happening. If you still have to remind your kid that it's been a while since they showered or something like that, a stage that lasts longer than you think for some kids, they're not a manager yet. You still carry that mental load even if you're not physically helping them in the shower. It's amazing how much bandwidth even something as simple as that can take up and how good it feels when they finally reach manager status and you no longer have to keep track of that little detail among all the other details you're juggling. So that's the goal, that we eventually transfer that personal mental load completely over to them. We stop being micromanagers and transfer complete ownership to our kids. One thing to note here is that kids don't need to be perfect at a category to be a manager. Often kids learn best by taking responsibility for something before they're completely ready so they can make mistakes and learn from them. That's definitely been the case for laundry in our family, back to that example, but also with money. They've made some really silly purchases over the years, but they usually learn through the pain of their mistakes. Much better than if I just told them, don't buy that, that's stupid. I often even tell my kids that as an adult, I'm the manager in every category because no one else is going to do any of it for me. But that doesn't mean I'm good at everything on the list, like keeping my room and office clean, for example. So, if a kid claims she's a manager of a category and you don't quite agree, you could experiment by being really hands off for a while and letting her struggle and learn. It can be hard not to swoop in, but it's good training for us as parents as well to stop micromanaging anywhere we possibly can. And it's amazing what they can learn by themselves. We kind of have to wean ourselves off managing them as much as they have to wean themselves off being dependent on us. So it's kind of a learning process on both sides. Quite interesting, really. Okay, so now let's talk about how I practically use the system in real life. So, about 5 years ago, I decided to turn this helper worker manager idea into a formal checklist with what is now 15 different categories of self sufficiency. You may have some that I haven't thought of, and if you do, I'd love to hear them, but here is our list: hygiene and grooming, sleep, food, fitness, finance, clothing, cleaning, possessions, education, social skills, time management, talents, transportation, technology, and spirituality. I print out these checklists for my kids twice a year, once at the beginning of the school year and once in January. And in fact, we just finished doing our annual check in as I was writing this episode. It's basically a self-evaluation. All the categories are listed along the side, and then there's 3 columns labeled helper, worker, and manager. Then they just put an X in the box they think is correct for each category, and sometimes somewhere in between those boxes if they're not quite sure or if they're just on the edge. My kids actually all have strong opinions about how they like to do this. Some of them want to do it all themselves and then talk to me about it later. Some of them, we kind of do it together. Some of them want to just do it all orally. They want me to fill out the whole thing and just ask them and talk to them as we go. So it really depends on the personality of your kid, and you have to figure out what works for them so that they don't get super annoyed with you, as can happen in my family at least. So this Christmas, I actually brought a bunch of blank checklists to our extended family reunion with all of my husband's siblings and their kids. And I had any kids who wanted to fill them out. And they were very kind to let me experiment on them. So here's a little snippet of how it went.
I love organizing things.
Ooh, nice. So you're a manager on that for sure. That's
Finance, spending budget. Oh, I'm a helper. Yeah, I'm a helper. Saving, helper. Education, homework. Oh, I'm a manager.
Oh, that's impressive.
Good for you.
It may sound like a drag to sit and fill in a checklist, especially on your Christmas break, but it was actually pretty fun to see the progress, and it helps us set goals and figure out what areas they want to level up. And it's really fun to watch them light up when they find a category they can totally manage themselves. But the best part of the whole process is talking through it with your kids after they fill it out. It really does instigate some great, really introspective conversations and connection. And to prove it, I talked to some of my nephews and one of my sons after they filled out the checklist. So we're going to start with two of my nephews who are kind of in a sweet spot for this checklist, ages 11, 12. And these two actually also happen to be aspiring podcasters themselves. So what did you think of the process?
I kind of thought it was fun. I like the experience of it, like filling the sheet out. What about you, Sanders?
I liked it because it shows stuff that I have to work on and stuff that I know I'm good at and stuff. So
nice. Okay, so were there any big surprises as you were looking through? Oh, maybe I need to work on that.
Yeah. So for on page 2 for technology, I'm like, manage screen time. Wow, I am on screens a lot.
And you need your mom's help with that, right? She manages you.
Yeah.
And that's actually age appropriate, so it's okay. But did it at least make you think about oh, I guess I am supposed to be in charge of that someday.
Yeah.
I should probably work on those skills. Yeah. What about you?
Mine was probably bedroom, cleaning my bedroom. That's just kind of rough sometimes. And then laundry, the putting away my laundry, that's just kind of rough for me.
That's rough for me too. Here's the interesting thing. When you're an adult, you just have to be the manager of everything, whether you're good at it or not.
Yeah.
So I'm not great at that either. Sometimes it's a couple days and I'm oh, I still have to empty that basket, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm the manager, so I have to nobody else is going to do it for me or even remind me to do it. So I have to do it.
Going back to the laundry thing, I usually let it pile up for a week or something, and then my mom makes me do it. She says, okay, sit down, listen to music for a little bit, and then get this done.
So okay, here's a question for you. Is it kind of nice to have a mom to be your manager sometimes?
Yeah.
And a dad, I'm sure your mom and your dad both are your managers for a lot of these things. Is it sometimes annoying for them to be a manager? Is it never annoying for them to be
sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes when we're want to go hang out with friends, no, you better clean your room. And I'm sometimes I let my room just pile up for weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm just why didn't I clean it before?
Right. So sometimes it's helpful, because if she never reminded you, even when it was time to go to a friend's house, it'd be pretty soon you just wouldn't be able to walk in there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, but are there some things on here that you are a manager and that your mom doesn't have to remind you to do at all?
Yeah. I feel for homework, she's always did you do your homework? I need you to do your homework. I'm I did it already. I'm fine.
That's awesome. Pretty soon she will know that she doesn't even have to ask, right?
Yeah, for me probably homework and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
But also socially, all my friends are kind of they don't really plan stuff out. They're kind of go somewhere and just do whatever. But I'm kind of planning everything out. So I feel that's something good that I have.
That's actually huge, because especially when they become teenagers or around your age, some of their friends are so flaky that if it was up to them, nothing would happen. So it's cool to be the one that's organizing and getting people to do stuff. So that is huge. To be a gatherer, to be a host and a gatherer. What was your next one?
I'm pretty good at food and stuff. Sometimes when my mom, she's really good at cooking, and then sometimes she's just like
She is.
tired, and she's like, "Can you guys just find something else?"
Yeah.
And so I would make like mac and cheese or something. So, and also like him like planning stuff with friends. I was always like on the bus going home. I'm like, "Hey, we should hang out like on the weekend or something because it's been a while." And so I like tell my mom, "Hey, can we invite him?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
That's
And
awesome.
yeah.
That's really a good skill, and it's something that doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. So part of this is like, I feel like part of it's seeing like, oh, these are the things I'm like naturally good at, and these are the things that like,
We need to work on.
yeah, so like, what are some of your goals for the next year? Like, which of these areas do you think are important enough that you want to spend some time working on leveling up?
Technology, screen time, and just like spiritually pondering and like taking time to just like be quiet for a little bit and not do anything, like just calm down.
Yeah, and sometimes I think we think that means just like sitting still in a quiet room, but
Yeah.
sometimes it could even mean just like not being on a device in the car and just staring out the window and thinking, just allowing the some time for your mind to just think about things, or maybe writing in a journal, or those kind of things.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's a really good thing to work on.
Yeah.
Any other ideas?
I feel like I need to work better on like picking up my stuff. Like I would go and do this, and then my little brother, he would be like, "Hey, let's go outside and play." And I'm like, "All right, yeah, let's go." And I come back and I'm like, my mom's like, "Mess now." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry."
So like part of becoming a manager is that you get rid of the nagging, right?
Yeah.
Like you're like suddenly like, oh, mom doesn't have to tell me to clean my room because she knows that I'll do it.
Yeah.
She knows that I'm in charge of that,
Like when I was little, and I'd be like, I just finished cleaning, and I was like, "This is so cool, mom, close your eyes, I want to show you this. Come here,
Totally.
now open." And she's like, "You cleaned." I'm like, "Yeah."
Something I want to work on is sharing my talents. Like I don't know how to do that
Oh.
or like ways to do that, but I want to like try to work on that.
Okay, so are there specific talents that you have in mind? Like what are some of your talents that you could share?
Like basketball, maybe like teach friends or like little cousins or something
Or
like
siblings,
that. Yeah, or
yeah.
siblings.
That's a really good, like, yeah, teaching is a great way of sharing your talents. And also, I think maybe you share more than you know because you're on a team, right?
Yeah.
So when you're on a team and you're playing as a team, you're sharing your talents by like passing the ball, by encouraging them when they're doing it. And also, I'm guessing that people have fun watching you play. So sometimes just sharing your
Yeah.
talents is being vulnerable enough to play a sport in front of people, play an instrument in front of people. So you actually maybe are sharing your talents more than you think you are.
Yeah, I also feel like that. Like, when me and my little brother go outside to play, like we throw the football around and stuff, and I throw, and he's like, "Whoa, you're so good at that. How do you do that?" And it just feels good to like show them and like help them how to do it and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. My own kids aren't usually quite as forthcoming and eager as these cute boys were. They often kind of grumble when I tell them it's time to do our check-in, but they actually usually come around quickly and it ends up being a positive experience. And even though this is supposedly for the kids to like have a check-in and figure out where they are, it's often also a check-in for me because it helps me see gaps in my teaching, especially with the younger ones, where you've taught something so many times that you forget that, oh, you skipped a kid. I haven't taught this to the youngest ones yet. So speaking of which, here is my youngest child, Ezra. Okay, Ezra, tell me what you think of this checklist that we always do. Tell me your honest feelings about it.
They're boring.
Yeah? Yeah,
Well,
okay.
This time it wasn't boring because I got to do it by myself.
Oh, so you just don't like it when I sit there and help you fill it out.
Yeah, because you're bossy.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Well, and I think you're old enough now that you like, and you've done it enough times that you know how to do it. And
Yeah.
then we looked at it after together. And was that annoying?
Nah, not really.
Okay. Okay. And you, I think from doing it this time and from the last time, you have leveled up in a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's part of why you liked it better too, because you were able to like see progress and
Yeah.
yeah. Because yeah, I was very impressed with a lot of the things.
Hmm.
What do you think are the things that you've improved in the most lately?
Probably like cleaning my room.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of like organized now.
Well, I feel like you've finally like taken pride in your room and got it how you want it, and then you
Yeah.
have motivation to keep it that way.
Hmm.
And that's kind of like the very definition of a manager, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I own this, I'm in charge, I'm going to do it the way I want. Then it's like, I don't have to come remind you and nag at you.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the best parts of it, right?
Hmm.
Because one thing that you've made huge improvements in this year is getting up and being on time for school and getting yourself there. Like,
Yeah.
you are a transportation manager for school, which is not common for somebody your age.
Yeah.
He rode his bike all but one snowy week for the whole first semester of school. And one time it was in the pouring rain, but he just wanted to keep his streak going. But how did that feel? Like, what was the difference in me taking you to school versus you getting yourself to school?
Biking was more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, like, he chose what time to leave. Like, I didn't have to tell him. I wasn't rushing him out.
Yeah.
Was that much better for you?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like when you're a manager, it's not just like the fact of getting the things done that you need to get done. It also just feels good, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Are there other things that like it just feels much better to be in charge of than having somebody tell you what to do?
I mean, I'm getting better at like getting breakfast. I know that wasn't really on there.
No, it's
But, like,
part of the food one.
yeah.
Making meals and snacks.
Yeah, but like I feel like I've been eating more breakfast.
And that helps you start your day better?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anything that you would suggest to kids who are doing it for the first time, maybe?
Probably just like first do it with a parent because you might get cocky.
It's also fun to see how unique their strengths and weaknesses are. And I inevitably find things I've been taking for granted, especially if one of the kids is struggling in a particular area and it becomes all that I focus on. Once you look at the whole checklist and kind of the big picture, you realize how many things they're actually managing well. And it's a great excuse to celebrate those things and kind of not focus on those pain points. For example, one of my sons became a wake-up manager last year. And that was an amazing moment when I realized that I hadn't had to wake him up for months, especially since I have one teenager who hasn't even made it to the worker stage in that category. One thing that has surprised me is how self-aware my kids usually are. Sometimes they overinflate their status and we renegotiate, but they're usually pretty spot on, and sometimes they even downplay how good they are at something and I have to upgrade their assessment. The last clip I have to show you is from the youngest of my nieces and nephews to fill out the checklist, just to show what it looks like for a 5-year-old. Kyle, you just filled out one of those checklists for the first time, right?
Yeah.
What did you learn that you're good at doing for yourself?
Usually just doing stuff for my mom.
Oh yeah, that's what we figured out, is that he was really good at the service in the social category. He was really good at serving other people and doing nice things for people, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, and at like when you have friends over, like sharing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of his good things. Also, like you're really good at helping your mom clean up your toys. Yeah.
I am.
Do you sometimes get mad at that you have to do it?
No.
No, you just do it?
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really helpful. I bet your mom loves that. What are some things that you're really glad your mom helps you with?
Getting me to school.
Oh, yeah. Do you love going to school?
Yeah.
When you're at school, do you ask good questions?
Yeah.
And do you try to learn stuff?
Yeah.
That's good. So you are really good. You're a really good worker at your education, right?
Yeah.
That's really good. I loved seeing how proud he was of all the things he was learning to do. And it's such a good reminder that even being in the helper stage can be a great accomplishment. You know, it has to be age appropriate. So the next key to this whole system is making sure that you reinforce the whole helper, worker, manager idea in between the times that your kids fill in the checklist. Part of this is just talking about it in everyday settings like, oh, wow, pretty soon you won't need me to even remind you. You're close to being a manager at cleaning your room. But we also do monthly check-ins just on a smaller scale. I've narrowed this monthly check-in to a 7-point check-in, but you could do however many works for you. We've settled on physical, intellectual, spiritual, social, money, and technology. And recently, I've made this check-in a prerequisite for getting their allowance. So now we're really good at doing it every month. And I add their allowance and settle any debts during the money part of our check-in. This is a chance to see how they're progressing in these areas, but also a time for me to ask them what I can do to help them. This time around, that meant that I need to be better at reminding my youngest to do his laundry, that one son is running low on body wash and another needs more flossers, and helping my daughter figure out a new bedtime routine. The other new thing I just did is to expand each of the 15 categories into their own skills checklists. So if a kid is struggling with one area, you can get really specific about what skills they need to master. Or you could pick one category a month, like we're doing on this podcast, and really drill down to figure out if there are any gaps in skills that you can work on together. For example, I divided the hygiene list into 4 subcategories: teeth, body hair, teeth, body, hair, and toilet, with skills like brushing, flossing, clipping nails, using deodorant, etc. You can find those more detailed lists at familylabpodcast.com when you buy the whole Self-Reliance package. Or if you want to get them free one at a time, you can also subscribe to my new monthly newsletter at familylabpodcast.com. And that is the whole system. Thanks for joining me for this episode, and I hope these checklists are useful for your family. They're always a work in progress, so if you find an error or something I forgot, or just have other great additions, please let me know and I will add them. Special thanks to my assistant, Kimberly Hansen, for all her help formatting these checklists. It took a long time, and helping to make this podcast possible. And welcome to my new podcast manager, Haley McElroy. I'm really excited to be working with her and see where we can bring this podcast. And as always, thank you to my mom, Susan Singley, for playing the theme music to this podcast. She used to play this song all the time when we were growing up, and to me, it's the soundtrack of motherhood.